5 minutes.
So I'm already a freelance writer as we speak, but it's more like, to use a terrible dated baseball analogy, it's more AAA. Wouldn't mind getting up into the major leagues, because I mean the dream is to make the full living at it. I mean, I still have a 9 to 5 that keeps the roof over my head while I scramble. Okay,
yeah.
So just to scramble through and get my deadline met and all these things. Any advice on somebody who's already kind of got their foot in the door with a somewhat major publication and would like to kind of branch out? Is it diversification? Is it maybe just
what kind of stuff do you write?
Currently, right now, I do mostly review columns for the Edmonton Journal here locally, and also do a lot of the interviews with like heavy metal bands. That's sort of my thing. And that's every once in a while, if the video game department's got a bunch of stuff they can't review, they'll throw it over to me. I'll do it online. And
well, that's great. It's very hard. First of all, I couldn't sustain. I mean, I could if I were a single guy living in a studio apartment, but I couldn't sustain. I couldn't afford to write at this point, even now, as a freelance writer. I still have a day job too, and it's very hard. So that's why I started the presentation with why do it. The money's not so good. It's just not. Why do it? And that should lead to your question, because it can lead to other things. It sounds like you already have like a resume, You already said, well, I've done X, Y, and Z for these 3, 4, 5 different publications. You have to figure out, pick your places of why you want to publish there. McSweeney's doesn't pay you, I'm just using that as an example, but McSweeney's is the comedy website. It doesn't pay you anything. It pays you exactly $0 in any currency. But it's incredibly prestigious. So I have people who write full-time, who've never published at McSweeney's, who are jealous of me over that. So sometimes you pick a publication, it might not look like it can help you, but you do it because of cachet. Then there are some publications you pick because you just want market penetration. So that's Cracked, right? Well, Cracked actually, competitively, compared to many sites, actually does pay. But the biggest thing that Cracked, I would say, has to offer for anyone who wants to submit there is market penetration and the ability to promote. So all I can say is you pick some things for cachet, you pick some things to build your resume, which you're doing now, and hone your craft, and you pick some things for market penetration. And the way to move up, I would say, is market penetration. That gets you more known. Then the last way to do it, and I'm trying to take my own advice here, is try to build upon that to put forth some sort of product that can take you to the next step. In my case, I hope to release a novel this year. Yeah. But that was built upon all that other work. I also have a video series, but I just kind of do that to raise money and for fun. You need to pick your other own personalized products. You're never going to, I guess, it'll be hard unless you become like a staff editor somewhere to ever sustain this writing doing nothing but that, unless you have other projects that can maybe like hit big.
Right. The classic struggle of the artist.
Right. Right. Yeah. And try to get a day job that doesn't make you want to kill yourself.
That's the next step. All right.
I'm working on that.
One more.
Okay, last question, I guess. Thank you all so much for coming and making me not feel foolish and showing up in an empty room. Oh, that might be it. Oh, come on. No? No last question?
One
oh,
all the way in the back. Questions by Richard Simmons.
How did you get the publisher approaching with something that
the novel? How did I? No, I did get approached by a publisher, by an agent who wanted me to write like kind of a crack book, kind of like, I don't know if you know my stuff in the sense that I like to kill people for obnoxious little things they do, like everyday abuses that should be punishable by death. He had such faith in me, he wanted me to generate a whole book of that. He was partially right, because that's sort of how I feel towards him at this moment. So I didn't, but for the notes, that was all on me, Notes from the Apocalypse. I pitched it, and I just, this is again with the internet, you couldn't find 10 years ago, people had to get an MFA. Why did they have to get a Master's of Fine Arts? It was purely because of the prestige. It was for the networking and the conditions. Oh, T.C. Boyle taught at my school, now he'll read my manuscript. People got whole secondary educations just for the chance to meet published authors to flip them their manuscripts. The internet you don't have to do that. You can build your own fan bases, and I did that without an MFA, and because of that, I could cold call agents, and I just knew about them because I looked them up online, agentquery.com, and I wrote them a letter. And I said, I write for this website, I have this fan base, I have this Facebook page, I have this idea for a novel, I have this novel. And I queried about 50 people. I got close with about 5, and then I found the right agent who didn't want me to dumb it down and make it more fart jokes, but liked the psychology of the novel, and it was a good fit, and I signed last month. So that's how I went about that. All right. Well, thank you all very much for coming.